a troll watching this, hi, how you doing? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, you might be a little bit confused by the title. It's got to a point where I was like, nah, do you know what? Like, I feel like I'm almost doing myself and everyone else a disservice if I don't actually talk about this. So, quite spontaneous, this morning I woke up and saw a comment on one of my Instagram posts and it inspired this video. So, thank you to that person that commented. I know that you tried to troll me, but it didn't work. So, thank you very much for your contribution to my channel and this video. So I'm just gonna hit you with a headline. I get a lot of comments all the time about my nose, like all the time. So it's probably like my most common like hate comment, if you want to call it that. And I've never been one that's wanted to kind of like pay attention to hate more than like obviously you naturally do. Like that's why I've never really addressed it. I've never really spoken about it publicly like that, because I'm just like, it's trolls, they want attention, they want to get a reaction out of you, and I'm not going to give it, and there's no point talking about hate. Like, let's just concentrate on what we're doing out here and just allow them. It got to the point where I was getting them so often, and I really do, I get these comments so often, whether they are comments on YouTube, on Instagram, whether they are actually DMs, like private messages. I get people saying this to me all the time, and I'm very, very thankful for the fact that they don't affect myself in the terms of how I see myself and my self-esteem. They don't get to me like that, they don't. But what they do achieve is they make me frustrated. Like, the more times that I receive them, I'm like, do you know what, I need to talk about this. Like, and that is what led me to this point. I was like, especially I think for my younger self, and thinking of those of you guys out there who might be struggling in the same way that I struggled with this for years, I feel like talking about this openly with you guys on here and how we can actively come together to try and change this is worth it. And if I don't do this and if I don't say all of this, then I am not actively going against everything that I want to go against. So that is why I'm doing this video. I just thought I would clear up kind of like the intention behind this, because I want something greater to come out of this. And this is particularly dedicated to all of you guys who have ever been made to feel inadequate by the way that you look, or that you need to conform to a particular ideology or something like that. If you've ever felt, or someone has ever made you feel like your individuality is a flaw in yourself, if you've ever been made to think that, then this video is for you. So, as I said, I receive a lot of hate comments on my nose. I get people saying to me stuff like, oh my god, like how do you have the confidence to come on social media and have a platform when your nose looks like that? Yeah, I know, that was my reaction too. Like, what? Like, I get DMs of people saying like, oh, like I don't mean any disrespect, but how did you find a way to be confident enough to be in the public eye when you have a nose like that? When I have a nose like what, sis? When I have a nose like what? Like, please explain. I have people saying, you know, you could be pretty, but you really need to fix your nose. Fix? Mad, because my nose was never broken. Like, this is the tip of the iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg, guys. I get so many, and some people genuinely phrase it in a way where they feel like there's nothing wrong with saying it. It's like, well, obviously you have a shit nose, so I'm just asking, like, how did you manage to, like, you know, feel good about it? Sorry, this is not common knowledge. What are you talking about? That's your perception. That's not the general consensus around here. Like, sorry? I've even been in a scenario where people have edited my nose in pictures of me to make it look straighter, smaller, more European, and it baffles me. It It baffles me. And it got to the point where this is such a running theme, and I get so many people almost fascinated by the topic of my nose that I was like, no, we need to talk about this. We need to shed some light on this topic and even talk about it more generally in terms of how toxic this is, where it's come from, and how we need to literally like flick it away. So as I mentioned briefly, those comments don't get to me. They don't get to me. But something which really rubs me the wrong way is I often think about like my former self, and I think that if I heard these things about myself back then, if people made these comments about me back then, I genuinely don't think I would be where I am right now. I can wholeheartedly say that they definitely could have destroyed so much within me, and I think it could have really badly affected me, and I have no shame whatsoever in saying that. It's the honest truth, and I just feel so grateful and so thankful that I'm in a position now where I am in a place where I'm strong enough to take all of this, and it genuinely does not affect me at all. And I want the fact that I was able to get from there to here to give you guys hope and to make you realize that it's a journey, but you can definitely get to a place where comments like this, they don't do shit. They really don't do anything. So when I was younger, I used to be really insecure about my nose. I mean, I wouldn't let anyone take like pictures of me from the side. If someone was on like the side, if I was like literally with someone and they were like on my side, I would be so self-conscious about the fact that they can see my nose from the side, because I have a hump in my nose, in case you didn't notice, but I love it. Anyway, that's not the point. So I would be so self-conscious, like, oh my god, like they're seeing my nose. Or I would try to like turn so that they can like see me from like head on, so they can't see my side profile. I never used to take any pictures side profile. Everything would be head on. When I used to meet people for the first time, I would constantly think that they were looking at my nose. I was like, oh my god, they're literally staring at my nose right now. They're literally looking at my nose. Oh my god, don't turn to the side, don't turn to the side. They're looking at your nose, like. And I made it so present in my reality. I let it consume me so much. It was constantly on my mind. Like, I was so insecure about it, and I really did let it take over for a while. And the fact that I now receive comments like this, if anything, it just reminds me of my growth. It reminds me of my strength. It reminds me of how far I've come, and I'm so grateful that I'm in a much better place within myself now, that they do not affect me. However, that doesn't mean that it's acceptable just because it doesn't get to me. So that's what we're going to talk about. When a person makes you feel inadequate about something to do with the way that you look or the way that you behave or whatever it is, the particular thing about you that they pinpoint, 9 times out of 10, nah, do you know what, scratch that, 10 times out of 10 it comes from insecurity within themselves. But the issue and the way that this becomes a toxic cycle is that they have that insecurity, they have that unattainable, superficial idea of what beauty is or what the right thing is, whatever, whether it's a characteristic in terms of like your personality or whether it's a physical attribute, regardless, they have a particular idea in their head of what is right, and they are holding themselves and everyone else around them prisoner to that restricted criteria. They are saying that if you do not fit in this very slim bracket, then there's something wrong with you, you're broken, you're inadequate, you're inferior, whatever they want to make you feel. It's, if you don't fit in this, then you're not it. But what we need to do is recognize that the people that project that onto other people are holding themselves prisoner to that way of thinking. And it's actually really sad, because that way of thinking has come from society. And that, guys, that is the ultimate issue here. That is the issue. We are all under the influence of society. What society says goes, and that's the problem. That's literally where the problem lies. Society has said that these particular features define beauty. If you don't have these particular features, you therefore are not beautiful. It's so forced upon us in the most subconscious ways, like in ways that we don't even realize it, constantly in the media, social media, like regardless of what format it is constantly what we are surrounded by in this day and age, and it is really sad. But as people that are almost victims to this, we can do one of two things. There are two types of people, right? There's the people that succumb to that, and they are the ones that adhere to those superficial ideologies of what beauty is that society lays out, and more often than not they are a trend. They are something which will forever be changing. So you're telling me that right now a straight nose, a skinny nose, a button nose is in, right? It's trendy. So you're saying that I should spend money to make my nose look like that, to take away the ethnic look of my face, to get rid of the unique character and individuality and expression on my face. Because I'm not being funny, but my nose holds a lot of character and I love it because it's a defining feature about my face. So you want me to spend that money to change it so that my features fit your criteria, which is essentially trying to look like an ethnicity which is not my own. You are basically trying to alter the way that you appear in terms of your heritage, where you've come from, because that's all carried in your features. People of a particular ethnic minority don't have the same features as a different ethnic group, but just with different colour skin. It doesn't work like that. Your ethnicity isn't just reflected by the colour of your skin, it's also reflected in the characteristics in your face, the way that your features look. That is everything that makes up your origin and where you come from. It's your heritage, it's literally your roots. By telling me that I need to change the way that my features appear, is you basically saying I need to reflect a different kind of ethnicity. And the reason why it's never our ethnicity as a person of colour is because being brown is never a trend. Let's be real. Being an ethnic minority is never, like, brown features are never going to be a trend. So as a brown girl, am I supposed to chase not looking like a brown girl to be able to fit into the trend? Is that the key to this? But the problem as well with chasing a trend is that it's gonna always change. Trends always change. Let's take it back, yeah? So for example, back in the day, skinny brows were it, right? Everyone wanted really, really skinny, like pencil thin brows. Then take it to like a couple years ago and it was all about the thick brow, like hella thick, carved out, clean cut kind of brow. Now it's more of like a fluffy brow that's in, more of like a less groomed brow. You've got some stray hairs, you just put some like brow gel through it and it kind of like enhances the look. Like that's now a trend. So notice how that is something which has changed so much. But if you wanted to always fit into society's idea of beautiful, then you would literally need to change yourself multiple times, like every few months, every few years. You would need to keep changing who you are to fit with how society has changed the overall idea of beauty. In what world does that make sense? Like, let's just deep it. How does that make sense? You are constantly chasing something which is unattainable. Constantly. So you're telling me, you're in my comments, you're in my DMs, and you're telling me that I need to change myself to follow a trend. Listen, if you want to follow the trend, you follow the trend. Why are you coming at me saying that I need to change the structure of my face? So, as I was saying, that's the first kind of person. The first kind of person is someone that adheres to those superficial ideologies which are laid in place by society and are ever changing. The other kind of person is the person that goes against society. Be the change you wish to see in the world. I've quoted this many times before and it's because it's true and it's so applicable to so many different scenarios. If you are someone who has been made to feel like something about you is inadequate or isn't right or needs changing, or that you need to conform to something, don't let yourself conform. Be someone that stands up actively against the people telling you you need to conform. Be someone that sets an example to be like, no, that's not it. You don't need to fit those restricted requirements to be beautiful, to be this, to be that. Be the person that stands up and says, no, this is beautiful. Having character in your nose is beautiful. Showing your ethnicity through your features is beautiful. We are not all trying to look like a Barbie doll where we all kind of blend into the crowd. We're trying to stand out. We're trying to embrace what God has given us, how we naturally look. We're trying to embrace that. And we define what beauty is. Beauty is subjective. Society makes you think that it's not, but it is. Beauty is always, and always has been and always will be, subjective. It's in the eye of the beholder, right? And the only person that needs to feel good about the way they look is yourself. 100%. The only person that it should matter to is yourself. You cannot let yourself and your own idea of beauty be altered by society and by the way that that person is projecting their insecurities onto you. It's actually really sad, like, if you think about it. Like, it's really, really sad that people have allowed themselves to become prisoner to trends and to what society says is right or is wrong. People have let it dictate the way that they feel about themselves and the way that they feel about other people, and that's actually really, really sad that it's come to that point. And we need to kind of rise above and find a way to alter what is right in society's eyes to be accepting of everyone and everything. People that project this in a negative, in a toxic way, they are not the instigator of the problem, it's society as a whole. But by joining that, you are adding fuel to the fire. If you're not actively going against it, you are following along with it. It means you agree with it. But those people don't necessarily agree with it, but they've been almost conditioned to believe that there is no other option other than to conform. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. You define your own beauty, and you do not let anyone or any magazine or any Insta post or any media related thing at all, or any just person, change your own perception of what beauty is. I know that it's easy for me to come here and say all of this when I'm speaking from a place of these comments not affecting me, but I really hope that you find comfort in knowing that it wasn't always like this. I can't sit here and tell you, okay, I went from that mindset to this mindset and here's how I did it. Number one, I wish I could make it that easy, but there is no rule book, there is no instruction manual that you can follow to get from A to B here, but you just need to know that it's possible. You just need to want it badly enough, and you need to be dedicated to working on your self-love and bringing up your self-esteem and embracing the things about you that make you who you are. These are the things that set you apart from the crowd. I mean, I don't know about you lot, but personally, I don't like to fit in with the crowd. Like, I mean, typical Leo extrovert energy here, but I like to stand out. I really don't like to fit in. So why don't my features to fit in? I don't actually want them to do that. I love the fact that my nose is striking. It stands out. I love that. It shows character in my face. Why do you think I always do stuff from the side angle? It's because I want to stunt my side profile, because I love my side profile, because I think it gives my face character, and I'm so here for that. I'm so here for that. You are you for a reason, and you need to make sure that no other person or no social media post or anything can affect the way that you see yourself into making you feel like you're inadequate or you're inferior or you don't make the cut or that you are not beautiful. You cannot give that power to anyone but yourself. Beauty is subjective and you need to define it yourself. The definition isn't written somewhere. It's really not like that. It is subjective and you cannot let anyone tell you that it's not. You guys know that I'm very big on individuality and expression. Like, I love it. Like, I get a lot of comments of people kind of confused about the way that I style myself in terms of the chains, like all of this, like all the time. I can be quite extra and a lot of people don't get that. And that's fine. It's not for everyone and I don't do it for everyone to get it. I do it because it's my own personal expression of who I am, and that's why I do it. And in the same way, I personally feel like I can pull it off because I love it genuinely, and I feel like it reflects a part of me, and I feel confident, I feel good, I feel beautiful when I express myself. That is why I feel like I can pull it off, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think it has anything to do with anything else. If you take anyone that has quirky style or anything kind of different about them which doesn't kind of necessarily fit into the everyday trend, if you look at someone's sense of style which is a bit different, I don't know about you, but personally I have so much respect when I see someone and they're rocking an outfit and I'm thinking, I could never wear that. Like, I could never pull it off. Like, I could actually not pull it off. You don't think, oh my god, like, what the hell is wrong with them? If they wear it well, yeah, if they're walking around and they own it, you're kind of, they catch your attention. You're gonna be like, all right, I see you. Like, you are affected by their presence. You feel their presence. And that is because they are owning it. That thing about them that they've chosen to make them seem different and stand out from the crowd and be unique, they're wearing it with so much confidence. They've embraced it. They've literally made it become them. That is why everyone is captivated as they're walking past. It's like, bruh, they really did that. Like, they really did that. Like, I rate you. Like, you naturally will find yourself having respect for people like that, and it's because of the way they carry themselves. It's the same with anything, you know. Like I've said before publicly on here that I had a difficult time with like accepting my height, just like my nose. It's probably like the two things that I've had like a difficult journey with. And if we just use height as an example here, there could be two people, right? Take two women who are both the same height. One of them who really struggles to embrace it and feels like it is a massive flaw and they don't like it, they wish that they just weren't tall. The way that they walk down a street, you can see that that is their mindset. Their mindset is reflected in their body language, how they're walking, how they're conducting themselves. You can easily read it. The way that they're walking, their body language will be in. They have literally hunched themselves over. They're trying to physically make themselves appear smaller because they don't like the fact that they are tall, and the only way that they can change it is trying to bring themselves down. And when you see a person like that walking down the street, it tells you something about them, and you automatically can see they don't like their height. They're not happy with that. You know it straight up. And that's when people can exploit it in you as well, because people can see like, yeah, no, like she can easily be like intimidated, like she's not owning it. Do you know what I mean? It's obvious from the way that you carry yourself, just from walking down the street. Then there could be someone else walking down the street, another woman, same height, and she could be in heels as well, kind of enhance it a little bit. And if she has owned it and if she's embraced it, again, you can tell, you can see where their mindset is. You naturally, their chin will be up, their chest will be out, and they'll be walking in confident strides. You can see it, and automatically that person will catch your attention for the complete opposite reason. You'll be like, rah, like she's killing it. Like, again, you will be stopped by their presence because it's something unique about them. They're tall, but look at the way they're wearing it. Look at the way they're walking down, the way they're strutting down. Rah, is that them? Okay, like I see you, like more power to you. You literally see it, but you're more in awe. Like your response as a spectator is different based on the way that they are conducting themselves, based on where their mindset is, and you can see that in the way that they carry themselves. So my point is, they both have the same quality. They are both taller than the average person. One person has embraced it and the other person has let it consume them and they have accepted it as a flaw. But notice how as a spectator, my perception of them is completely different, even though they're just acting differently on the same quality. But the way that they have taken it upon themselves has changed everyone else's perception of them. And you can see that it's affected their perception of themselves as well. Do you really think that the second person thinks, oh my God, I hate my height, I can't stand it, I wish I was shorter? No, not at all. They've embraced it and you have respect for them and you love it on them. You're like, yeah, like I wouldn't want you to be shorter. What? No, you own that. That looks sick. It suits you, because they've taken on the form of embracing it. So in the same way, if you have something about yourself which you think sets you apart, and if you're thinking about it in a negative way, shift the energy. Just shift it. I know it's going to be a process, it's not going to be overnight, but you can gradually get there. Over time, change the way that you view it, right? So I went from being like this with my nose to literally stunting on you here, side profile. Like, it's all about the way that you carry yourself, and it will honestly change everything. The happiness about the way that you look or about whatever insecurity you have comes from yourself. It doesn't come from changing it. If you change it, you will just uncover another insecurity somewhere else on you, and then you'll want to change that, and you want to change that, and you want to change that. You are chasing something which you will never be able to actually attain. And I know that it's difficult, believe me, I understand, like I've been there, which is why I also want to remind you guys that my DMs are always open. If ever, you know, you feel like you are struggling with this process, you want to kind of talk to someone about it, or anything like that, like please feel free to message me, or you can leave a comment down below. It is hard, it is a process, but it's possible, and we need to actively be the people that go against the superficial ideologies that society has put onto us, because it's not okay, it's not acceptable. It can affect people in such a negative way if we're not ready yet to deal with it. And I'm not being funny, but no one grows up completely secure in everything about them. Even the strongest people in the world, you will see that they once were vulnerable, they once let their insecurities kind of have a greater control over them, which means if people had the kind of hate comments and things when they were at their most vulnerable, you don't know how it would have affected them. And we need to be the people to be like, nah, do you know what, we're not going to let that run, we're not going to let that happen. We are going to actively be people in society to change the game. We are going to actively go against what everyone is telling us we should look like, or we should feel, or we should be. We are going to go against it, because who sets that tone? It's us, really. You either join them or you go against them, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm all here to go against something like this. So what I'm trying to say is, it's difficult, it's a long journey, but you can get there, and you can be on the right side of this change. You can be someone that stands up against all of the issues and the toxicity that is in our society. And each person that does that, like, we are one step closer to making the standards of society accepting and not making anyone feel the way that we've been made to feel at one point in our lives, from having something about us which sets us apart from the rest. Love it, embrace it, own it, and let it be your superpower. Literally, let that thing that sets you apart be your strength. So I just really felt that it was important to come here and talk to you guys about this, and I really hope that you found it useful. It shed some light on the situation, it made you kind of view things differently. And if you're a troll watching this, hi, how you doing? If you want to keep chatting shit about my nose, that's fine. By all means, like, be my guest, because it says more about you than me. So honestly, continue, that's fine. But I wish you the best anyway. I hope that you're able to solve your own insecurities and rise above it, because at the end of the day, the world will be a better place for it if you're able to solve your own issues as well. So I wish you the best. Mwah. Thank you so much for watching, whether you're a troll or a supporter. I love you guys so much. Stay positive, stay safe in these times. If you need anything, drop me a message, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah. Bye guys.